Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into ACIM, Lesson 122. And the absolute core of this lesson is a single, powerful statement. Forgiveness offers everything I want. I am so incredibly excited to unpack this with you, because the text is making a seriously bold, sweeping claim here. It's telling us that every single thing we are constantly searching for in our daily lives can be found through this one specific mechanism.
Okay, let's dive into this. The text poses a question right off the bat that just kind of stops you in your tracks. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Think about that for a second. It's framing forgiveness not just as, a nice moral obligation or a polite thing to do, but as the ultimate, highly practical solution to literally all of our human desires. It's asking us to consider that our entire search for happiness, for security, for meaning, the whole shebang, ends right here, with forgiveness.
To make sense of this, we're going to break this explainer down into 4 quick parts. First, the promise of forgiveness. Second, the ultimate simple answer. Third, leaving hell behind. And finally, the daily practice routine. Let's get right to it.
Starting right off with Section 1, the promise of forgiveness.
Now this part is fascinating because it doesn't hold back at all. It boldly promises to fulfill our deepest psychological and emotional needs. Just think about this massive list of benefits the text lays out. Do you want deep peace, a quiet mind, a certainty of purpose? Well, the text says forgiveness offers absolutely all of it. Safety, sure protection, undisturbed quietness, and a gentleness that literally can never be heard. And what's so amazing is just how comprehensive this is. It says forgiveness sparkles in your eyes when you wake up, giving you real joy to meet the day. But get this, it even goes further. It actually transforms your sleep. It soothes your forehead while you're resting, making sure you don't suffer from dreams of fear, malice, or attack. It's healing both our waking hours and our unconscious mind.
And to explain how this happens, the text uses some incredibly striking imagery. It talks about how forgiveness lets the veil be lifted up. This veil represents how we usually look at the world, right? We look through unforgiving eyes, totally burdened by our pasts. So by forgiving, we are clearing our memory of all dead thoughts. I just love that phrase, dead thoughts. These are our past grievances, those old arguments playing on a loop, the lingering resentments we just carry around with us every single day. They are completely dead, yet they totally cloud our present reality. Forgiveness sweeps those dead thoughts away so we can actually uncover our inherent peaceful nature.
Now, what's really interesting is Section 2, the ultimate simple answer.
The text sets up this brilliant contrast between the overwhelming complexity of our everyday problems and the elegant simplicity of the solution it offers. On one side, you have the world's complexities. It describes our daily struggles as fragile cobwebs that we spin. We're engaged in this aimless wandering, bringing our imperfect questions and meaningless requests to a totally chaotic world. But then, on the other side, we have the answer. The text describes forgiveness as being clear and plain, a simple statement of truth. It literally calls it the perfect answer given to imperfect questions. The message here is so beautiful. Stop spinning those fragile cobwebs. The power and majesty of this extremely simple truth, forgiveness, will make all those intricate, confusing complexities just disappear.
Which brings us to Section 3, leaving hell behind.
To truly get what the text is saying, we have to decode some of its language. It uses traditional words like heaven and hell, but it frames them in a deeply psychological way that is absolutely crucial for us to grasp. So hell, in this context, is not some physical place beneath the earth. Hell is the internal turmoil, the fear, and the intense complexities we create right inside our own minds. It's the terrible anxiety of holding on to those dead thoughts we just talked about. It's an internal state of being that we construct ourselves whenever we look at the world with unforgiving eyes.
In direct contrast to that, salvation and heaven represent the universally desired psychological state of deep, undisturbed peace. Heaven is that profound tranquility, safety, and truth that naturally arises in your awareness the very moment you completely let go of your grievances. It's what happens when you finally stop wandering aimlessly and just accept the simple truth. Heaven, essentially, is simply the experience of a quiet mind.
So the crucial point is captured perfectly in this quote. Forgiveness is the means by which it comes to take the place of hell. Forgiveness is the literal bridge from your internal turmoil to profound tranquility. It is the active mechanism that replaces your self-made hell with deep peace. The text is urging us to, quote, accept heaven's answer to the hell we made.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 4, the daily practice routine.
What I really love about this source material is that it isn't just philosophy.
It gives you a highly specific, concrete daily regimen to actually achieve these incredible results, and this brilliantly illustrates how manageable it really is. Here is the exact schedule. You spend 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening dedicated to this practice. And yeah, I know, that might sound like a lot at first, but let's be honest, we all spend way more time than that just aimlessly scrolling on our phones. Plus, to keep the momentum going, you pause for just 1 minute every 15 minutes throughout your day. It's a rhythmic, consistent grounding in the lesson.
Let's focus on those 2 core 15-minute blocks for a second. The text gives us beautiful instruction for those sessions. It tells you to literally sink into happiness as you begin them. You are dedicating a quarter of an hour to a search where the end of your internal hell is guaranteed. You're instructed to walk directly into the light, letting the shifting, complicated world fade away, completely trusting that the rewards of this practice have been kept waiting for you since time began.
But you might be wondering, what about the rest of the day? Because the text totally acknowledges that we have to go back out into a world of shifting change and bleak appearances. Well, to prevent your newly found peace from slipping into forgetfulness, you use those short, frequent check-ins we talked about. During those brief pauses, you remind yourself of how precious these gifts are by using this exact mantra from the text. Forgiveness offers everything I want. Today I have accepted this as true. Today I have received the gifts of God. Holding that firmly in your mind ensures you retain your awareness of the truth, even when the world outside seems totally chaotic.
We've seen today how Lesson 122 lays out an incredibly compelling case. It promises us that absolutely everything we truly desire, peace, joy, safety, purpose, is locked behind a single door, and forgiveness is the key. It replaces our internal complexities and turmoil with profound simplicity and rest. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought drawn directly from the ethos of this text. If it's truly this simple, if forgiveness literally offers everything you want, what are you still waiting to forgive? Think about that as you go about your day. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this sparks a beautiful journey of letting go.